Hi folks, and welcome to our video about the recent December update that we have just published. My name is Till, and today we're going to talk about a lot of things, so let's get started. First of all, in the past month we had the winter survey going on, and I wanted to show you the results of the winter survey and give you a little bit insight on what we've asked you and what your answers were and how we react to them or how we are going to react to them. Second, let's talk about the new features that we have brought into the recent update, which are the blueprints and the autosave, as well as the multi-select editing on the platform. We also released the new prop item pack, the Mad Wizard's Laboratory, which I'm going to show you. Also, I want to give you a little preview on the upcoming prop set that's going to be released before Christmas. And I want to talk about our special Christmas gift that we are currently preparing for you. And I want to invite you to take part in that, but that's something for later. So, first of all, let's have a look at the survey. So, in our recent winter survey, we asked you what should be the next work package for DUNGEONFOG. And we gave you several options, like keep working on the editor, give us advanced notes, the viewer should be next, or I don't really bother as long as you're delivering constant updates. And I'm very happy with the results. We have 174 people who answered our survey, which is almost around 10 to 15% of all our user base currently, which is a pretty impressive number. As always, I would have hoped more people would have taken part in the survey, but 174 is a representative number that we can work with, and so we're taking these numbers to consider how to continue. Now, as you see, almost 60% of you want us to continue the work on the editor, which is completely understandable because our editor is in the beginnings and there are still a lot of ideas flowing around and still a lot of things that need improvement. So we are, and we have been for the last month, been focusing on the editor and improvements there. But having almost 30% asking for an improvement to the viewer should not be ignored. So in terms of our roadmap for the next quarter, we are going to finish what we have started with the editor. We're going to clean up, improve, optimize what we have in our tool set. And once we are done with that, which will be around Christmas, we are going to focus on the viewer, because I think the viewer, which hasn't had enough attention in the past year, should be updated next. And around February, probably beginning of March, we will then circle back to the editor and introduce a lot of new features to the editor. So onward to the next. The update. We just recently released the new update to DUNGEONFOG, which covers a few, I think, very important things. You also mentioned them in the survey. You had the possibility to vote on those things, and we heard you and we did them. So let's look at what's new in the recent update. One thing a lot of you requested was to add in a blueprint system. And Colin from Board Game Simplified is going to do an in-depth tutorial on that around next week. But for now, let's show you how the blueprints are working. When you select the stage, and you have the select tool, and you have select the level, which is here the unnamed level, you now have this new section called Blueprints. And you can activate this section and you will be asked to upload a blueprint picture. So as you see, it's basically an overlay of a picture that you upload, And you can then adjust the alpha for this to have it as something, as a reference for you to draw a map. So what I could do is I could use that blueprint to create a room, and I can use my blueprints. Those might be hand sketches, that might be maps that you already have and you want to rebuild in DUNGEONFOG. You can use them now through the blueprint tool to have a reference when you're creating your map. The blueprint tool itself is accessible when you click on the blueprint section here, and it will open this blueprint window. And here you can adjust the blueprints, and using the controls here, we've described them for you. So you have the mouse wheel to zoom. You can use control mouse wheel to adjust the grid. You can use the Alt to trace the grid lines on your map and create a grid according to that. So here you go. Using the arrow keys, you can shift the map using the shift arrow keys. You can do micro adjustments, and using the zoom bar here helps you to zoom in and zoom out. You can also resize your map to fit the map to your image size. So this would be something that makes sense when you start from a blueprint, you upload it, you fit your map to the image size, and then you start adjusting the grid. And once you click on apply, the blueprint will be applied to this level, which means you can use different blueprints for different levels. And you should have a rather nice reference to start working your maps from an existing blueprint on. Having the blueprints is, I think, an important step. It will give you a lot of new options to create your maps, and I think it would help you a lot if you're someone like me who is sketching maps and doodling, and you want to use them to bring your maps into DUNGEONFOG. You don't have to count squares anymore, but you can just upload the image, use it as a blueprint, and retrace it. We intentionally decided not to make it a canvas system. Let's explain the difference. The blueprint is always on top layer and is transparent, so you can adjust the transparency to use it. Having an image as a canvas would mean that the image would be on the bottom layer, like above the stage, which would allow you to upload an image and use it as a background for the map you are drawing. Like if you have a map that shows a bridge and a small river, and you use that as a canvas backdrop, then you could create houses around the river. We intentionally decided against that for now because we wanted to make sure that the blueprint functions are working, but we already have added this canvas idea into our wish list section, and this is going to be something that we're going to address later down the road. But having the blueprints was not the only new feature that we have introduced. And the second new feature that we've introduced is the new way how we handle map objects. Map objects used to be just a JavaScript, a JSON script object, but now we're using a local database or a database model to store your map objects. This came with a big advantage, which means that whenever you do something on your map, we automatically update the local database and bringing you an autosave function with that. So as soon as you do something on the map, like if I would add a room here, once this icon changes its status, the save icon changes its status, we already automatically create a new version of the local database. That means that this state of the map is locally autosaved for you. So if I would hit refresh, on this map, you will see I haven't saved it. I haven't saved it to the database. I haven't saved it to the server, but locally a version of this is already stored. So in case your browser crashes, in case your computer goes down, your battery runs out, in case you have a map object error or the RAM finishes on your browser, whatever happens, as soon as you do something, we automatically create an autosave version of that. Now you still need to save your map occasionally. As in the name local storage, the local database is only stored in your browser, but not in the database, in the online database. So whenever you save something, it then gets uploaded to our servers and stored there. We also have a routine that checks for conflicts. So in case you work on one PC, have a local version of that stored, rework the map on another PC and save it to the database. If those two are in a conflict, we're going to ask you which of both versions you want to use. Now, this was a huge step forward because it allows us to autosave a state of your map and making you independent from what happens to your browser, what happens to your PC, what happens to the map in case a crash happens. You always have a stable version of your map locally stored. It came with a little tripwire on the way to bringing it to the live server, because this new update affects old maps. If an old map has somewhere an error, like a door that's not properly connected to a room, or a room that was not properly connected to a wall, our old scripts were forgiving enough to ignore that error. Our new scripts are not. So that means that you might run across old maps that can't be opened anymore. So what we are offering you is, if you run across an old map that you can't open, take a link to that map by creating a private link or just copying the URL and send it to support@dungeonfog.com, and we will have a look at that map and we will fix it manually. Right, onwards. Let me check my list. Where is my list? So many things. The Mad Wizard's Laboratory. Right. We also introduced a new prop set for November, which was the Mad Wizard's Laboratory. Here you can see almost all the assets that we have added. So we have this big oven or water heater. We finally added some skulls. So we have those bone skulls, we have those ritual skulls, and we have tons and tons of clutter stuff that you can add to your desks to make your laboratory look like something of a scientific area. We have those tubes or tanks. We have those Faradayan objects and lightings. We have this operation desk. We have added a few new magic circles or ritual circles here. So with that, I think we have a pretty good armory for adding wizardry, adding science stuff, adding laboratories to your maps. And we particularly paid attention to making those props as setting neutral as possible, so that those tube tanks could be part of a spaceship. The plasma ball could be something of a fantasy setting or a modern age setting. And that is something that we are going to pay a lot more attention to in the future, because what I want to show you is a sneak peek of the upcoming prop set that we're going to release before Christmas. And that is going to be, where is it? And that is going to be churches and cathedrals. So in churches and cathedrals, we are going to bring to you before Christmas, when we're going to release this new asset pack, we're going to bring to you all the props and assets that you need to decorate a church. And as you see, we tried to stay setting neutral here as well. So the statues, the decoration, the benches, the altar, candles, an organ, whatever you need here, it is kept in a neutral way that could also fit a Warhammer 40k setting or a fantasy setting, modern age. This could be a modern age church. So we have added a lot of stuff in here, and we're going to release that, I assume, somewhere around 20th to 21st, 22nd of December. But this is not going to be the only thing in terms of assets and props that we're going to release before Christmas or around Christmas. We asked you on our Discord servers, and if you aren't on our Discord servers yet, I strongly invite you to join us there, because we have a great community and there's a lot of ongoing discussions. People help each other and people add new prop requests to our prop wish list. So what we want to do is, as a little Christmas gift for you guys, we want to take 50 of those props that you have requested out of the prop wish list, and we are going to make them as a special Christmas gift for you, and we are going to release that. Now, Tony, I'm not going to force a date on you right now, but I would say somewhere around Christmas and before the end of this year, we're going to release what we call the community props. So they will all consist, they will not be in a specific setting, but they will be 50 out of the props that you have requested. And you can now go to Discord and go to the prop wish list that we have there. And you can upvote or downvote, or basically you can't downvote, you can simply upvote the props you would like to be part of the community prop set. So I hope you like that idea, and we're going to do that next year again. So we're trying to bring 2 community sets a year. So once every half a year, there's going to be a call for props, and you can vote on those, and we will make them happen. Right, so if you haven't voted yet, if you still have ideas, until the end of next week, you still have time to do so. Go to our Discord channel and vote on props or request props that you're missing in Dungeon Fog. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy map making, and if you have anything you want to comment, please write down below, or join us in Discord, or write us a tweet, or give us feedback on Facebook. And I say thank you very much and happy map making.